Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering ransomware gangs use fake Microsoft Teams updates to deploy Cobalt strike and infect networks with malware. Beverage maker Campari and gaming giant Capcom suffer the effects of RagnarLocker ransomware, and Pay2Key Ransomware spreads and encrypts networks within just 1 hour. Hackers have begun to use fake ads for Microsoft Teams updates to infect computers with backdoor entry points using Cobalt strike. Once infected, this malware strain can compromise entire networks. The attacks target organizations in several different industries, but more recently have focused on the educational sector, which is dependent on video conferencing apps due to the rise in COVID-19 restrictions. What is Cobalt strike malware? Cobalt strike was originally developed for ethical hackers as a threat emulation and penetration testing. But like many other cybersecurity tools, it has been compromised for malicious purposes. This platform combines social engineering, unauthorized access tools, network pattern obfuscation, and a mechanism for deploying code against victims. Hackers can also use it to initiate advanced persistent threat attacks against organizations. While Cobalt strike is a legitimate tool used by so-called white hat hackers and carries a price tag of $3,500 per user, black hat hackers have now taken to using the trial version of Cobalt strike and cracking its software protection to manipulate its nefarious potential. The Cobalt strike testing toolkit is popular amongst ransomware families, dominating the threat landscape because it's stable and exceptionally adaptable. It tends to be repurposed to deploy all types of payloads. Cobalt strike has been observed in several Ryuk ransomware campaigns, as well as cyber attacks involving ransomware such as Lockbit and Sodino Kibi. In late September of 2020, Ryuk ransomware carried out a phishing campaign using malicious documents hosted on docs-google.com, and with the aid of Cobalt strike managed to compromise a large company's network. Once the Ryuk ransomware deployed a Cobalt strike beacon, it stole network admin credentials and proceeded to move laterally on the network. Cobalt strike provides the following capabilities to cybercriminals. Reconnaissance. Cobalt strike can determine which client-side software your target uses with version info to identify any known vulnerabilities. Attack packages. Cobalt strike provides a social engineering attack engine and can create Trojans masked as innocent files, including Java applets, Microsoft Office documents, or Windows programs, and offers a website clone to allow drive-by downloads. Collaboration. Cobalt Team Server allows hosts to share information with a hacking group and communicate in real time as they share control of compromised systems. Post-exploitation. Cobalt strike employs Beacon, a file dropper that deploys PowerShell scripts, logs keystrokes, records screenshots, downloads files, and executes other payloads. Covert communication. Cobalt strike can enable attackers to modify network indicators on the fly, making it possible to load C2 profiles to appear like another actor, and egress into the victim's network using HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, or SMB protocol. According to Cisco Talos Q2 2020 CTIR report, 66% of all ransomware attacks this quarter involved the use of Cobalt strike. In 2020, hackers using RagnarLocker ransomware pulled off some of the more brazen attacks against high-profile targets in recent memory. Generally, this malware is deployed manually after an initial compromise and after some basic network reconnaissance has been carried out. Before initiating the RagnarLocker ransomware, hackers inject a module capable of collecting sensitive data from victims and upload it to their servers. Next, the hackers notify the victims that the files will be released to the public if their ransom demands are not met. RagnarLocker victimizes major corporations. Campari, known for its dark red liquor, was targeted by RagnarLocker ransomware. According to reports, the attack managed to encrypt data on 24 of the company's global servers, and the hackers demanded a cryptocurrency ransom worth $15 million. In the ransom note, hackers claimed to have stolen 2 terabytes worth of files from Campari servers, including bank statements, employee social security numbers, tax forms, contracts, and passport details. If not paid, the attackers will release the sensitive data to the public or sell it to other hackers. Hackers also shared links to images where screenshots of the stolen data could be seen. Capcom was also reportedly hit by a RagnarLocker attack that encrypted 1 terabyte of sensitive data. The Japanese company is responsible for several multi-million gaming franchises, including Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and Darkstalkers. The company detected the cyber attack in November of 2020 and confirmed the hack was due to unauthorized access implemented by a third party, which led to a halt of some operations of its internal networks later in the day. Capcom expressed its deepest regret for any inconvenience this may cause to its various stakeholders, the company said in an advisory on its website. Further, it stated that at present, there is no indication that any customer information was breached. This incident has not affected connections for the playing company's games online or access to its various websites. RagnarLocker inspires copycat hackers. The Maze ransomware gang has added a new twist to their cybercriminality approach, distributing ransomware payloads via virtual machines. It's an approach meant to help the hackers get around endpoint defense. The Maze group was recently observed distributing their malware in the form of a virtual box, virtual disk image, or VDI file. The VDI file itself was delivered in a Windows MSI file, a format used for installs and storage and the removal of programs. In employing this strategy, Maze hackers take a page from the RagnarLocker group, who used the same technique earlier in 2020. A ransomware called Pay2Key is targeting Israeli and Brazilian organizations and encrypting their networks within 1 hour. According to cybersecurity researchers at Checkpoint, Pay2Key ransomware likely uses publicly exposed Remote Desktop Protocol, or RDP, to gain access to the victim's networks and deploy the malware. While Pay2Key operators have previously infiltrated victims and are active in the targeted networks before the ransomware begins encrypting systems, they also can make a rapid move of spreading the ransomware within an hour to the entire network. Once it has infiltrated the network, hackers set up a pivot device that's used as a proxy for all outgoing communications between the malware-infected computers and Pay2Key's command and control servers. This allows them to evade or reduce the risk of detection before encrypting the network using a single device to communicate with their infrastructure. Pay2Key demands ransoms up to $140,000. Pay2Key hackers use Microsoft's PS Exec portable tool to remotely drop a ransomware file named Cobalt.client.exe on the targeted organization's network. Once the ransomware has succeeded in encrypting a device, the ransomware operators drop a ransom note on the affected PC, customized for each hacked entity. The Pay2Key gang is currently asking for relatively small ransoms, with Checkpoint reporting ransom demands of between 7 and 9 bitcoins per victim. Other reports have ransom demands as low as 4 bitcoins. Pay2Key is not based on any detected code, and according to compilation artifacts, it looks like the malware is internally referred to as Cobalt by developers who are not native English speakers. Pay2Key uses a hybrid of symmetric and asymmetric encryption, which employs AES and RSA algorithms, with the C2 server delivering an RSA public key at runtime, which indicates that Pay2Key will fail to encrypt machines without active internet. Pay2Key uses a hybrid of symmetric and asymmetric encryption, which employs AES and RSA algorithms with the C2 server delivering an RSA public key at runtime, which indicates that Pay2Key will fail to encrypt machines without an active internet connection or if the malware C2 server is offline. Pay2Key ransomware seems to be joining a new trend of targeted ransomware attacks that present a carefully designed operation to seek to maximize damage while minimizing exposure. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like SpyHunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. SpyHunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. SpyHunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the SpyHunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. SpyHunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download SpyHunter today. Thanks for watching.